Alright, good afternoon YouTube. I'm Ogi F. This is Sahil Matlani's Lily, his Triumph Street Triple, and I'm on my way to work again. Welcome to my channel. Okay, so I had a lot of people message me about an incident which took place in Delhi recently. And again, before I get into any of these details, I do not know the person involved in it or his friends. These are just purely my views and expressions, no one else's. And I've been meaning to do this video for a while now, especially sometime last year when there were a few motorcycles that crashed on the way to Charoti in Maharashtra, for those of you aware of that route. And yeah, I've just held it back for a while, but you know, these situations just keep on popping up every now and then. And again, no offense to the rider or his family or his friends, but there's just some things which need to be said in the course of the last few days. For those of you unaware about it, it involved a Benelli TNT 600i ABS that was riding through the streets of Delhi. And riding is a very loose term here because the video evidence from the GoPro camera on one of his friends behind him pretty much proved that they were really speeding through traffic and they were swerving all over the place. Eventually what happened is he ended up bumping into a man that was crossing the road. The footage that was released wasn't really that clear. It was pretty dark, and I don't know, the lighting on that street was horrible to begin with, but nevertheless they were over speeding from what I could make out from the video and from what a lot of people have been saying about it. And eventually when the situation came up, he didn't have enough time to react and avoid hitting the jaywalker or the person crossing the road. Hard to tell, you know, what exactly was going on there, whether there was a crossing or what. I'm really not sure about that, but long story short, he took out the person walking across the road and then went and hit a lamppost and a lot of stuff on the left-hand side of the road, ending his life eventually. The result of that is a lot of people calling motorcyclists reckless and saying that we have zero value for life, not just our own but others as well, and people coming up with brilliant ideas that superbikes should be banned in India because our roads are not meant for them. Not all our roads are well developed for motorcycles to be riding around, especially sports bikes and or superbikes, if you want to call them that, to be riding around. But that in no way means that everyone who rides motorcycles and superbikes in India is reckless. That's just my 2 cents on it. But here's a main message I want to spread, and this is after a while now of seeing so many posts on YouTube and on Facebook about accidents taking place all over the place. It's very easy for us to sit behind our keyboards and pass judgment on whose mistake it was, whether the man was jaywalking when he shouldn't have been, whether the rider was speeding and really didn't have the skills to handle the motorcycle or react in those situations, whether the road was well lit up or not, or whether the road conditions itself were horrible or not. So there's so many equations to it, and that's not an all-inclusive list either, but there's so many possibilities. At the end of the day, I think each one of us is responsible for our own actions and should be able to react quickly enough if we're doing things like that on the street. The street, again, is no place for you to be racing. Whether it's an open highway, whether it's a busy street, whatever it is, man, the street, public roads are no place for you to be racing. I'll put a link to that video in the description of this video and you can go check it out yourself. In that situation, there shouldn't be any two ways about it. You should not be racing. What separates you from the chapris then? I read this article by a gentleman on Facebook probably a year ago now, when those accidents took place on Charoti, and I think he summed it up beautifully because he said that if you're riding in a group, then all captains and experienced riders from that group are responsible for setting an example for everyone else in the group. And if you can't be setting that kind of example, the right kind of example that is, then you shouldn't really be leading that group or shouldn't be calling yourself an experienced rider. And secondly, he said that each individual rider should be riding within their own limits. It's very easy to get carried away watching other riders speed off into the distance, and they're probably on better bikes than you are. But that doesn't mean that your ego should get hurt. Keep your ego in check and live to ride another day. When it comes to the media, for some reason we are always going to be looked at as the bad guys. No matter what the situation, whether we were responsible for the accident or not, for some reason they always make the bikers look bad. And let's not even get started on the government, because that's a whole nother story altogether. Especially after that incident involving that lady biker earlier this year and the pothole that she tried to avoid. So yeah, shit's pretty crazy. It's almost like the whole world is against us here on motorcycles. While every day is a battle for survival, I think people should be a little more considerate about motorcyclists, but then again, not all of us set the right kind of example every time. I think there's a change in the whole system that's required, and it's going to take time, but a few of us are willing to work on that. Yeah, so long story short, just try and stay within your limits, don't do anything stupid. While it's very tempting to do something stupid on a motorcycle, fight that urge, man. Fight that inner chapri urge. And just do what you can to stay out of trouble. Simple as that. If you are really interested in racing, then don't take it to the streets. There are racing schools to help you understand how good or how bad, depending on who you are at riding. There's Rajni's Race Academy, RACR, there's quite a few others as well, Indy Motard. Quite a few racing schools out there, and they do it on racetracks as well, certified racetracks as well, with the right kind of guidance, the right kind of equipment. Go ahead and test your skills over there, man, not on the streets with your chappals and caps. That's not the right place to be doing that. Alright, that's it for this rant. I think this is the second rant video I've put out on my channel, but that's it for this one. Thank you again so much for checking out the channel. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and do check out the other videos as well. Thank you so much for watching. As always, at least wear your helmets while riding your motorcycles and ride safe. It's a freaking jungle out there. Goodbye.